Yo, what's up? It's your boy Jet Lee. It's Load. Living Out a Dream. Another episode of Load Up Podcast, man. We're so excited today. Always excited to be on this side of the earth, man. It's always a blessing to be in good health and in good strength and in my right mind, man. So I just want to thank God first. What you want to thank God, man?
Yeah, always.
Always. So this episode here is going to be impactful, man. I believe it's really going to be good for the listeners. We're going to be talking about environment. But before we get into environment, I just want to let everybody know, listen, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend so they can tell a friend and they can tell a friend. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Load Up Podcast. So what you going to get with the podcast, right? So I told you before on the last episode, you're going to get information, you're going to get wisdom, knowledge. You're going to get business, real estate, stocks, fitness, guide, faith. You're going to get everything that you need to load up and live your dreams, because our job is to encourage you, to inspire you, to live your dreams, because God put you here for a reason. He put a gift inside of all of us, and our job is to make sure that you tap into that gift and live your dreams. So it's time to load up. But before we get into our interview, because we do have a special guest, and he's going to be talking about fitness, he's going to be talking about finances, life insurance, and environment, all that good stuff. But before we bring him on, my co-host, Courtney B.
Hey,
How was
y'all.
your week?
I had a pretty good week. Getting some goals knocked out and finishing some websites, some new endeavors that we're walking into. So,
Cool.
yeah, I had a pretty good, busy but productive. Because a lot of times, just because you're busy, don't mean you're being productive. But we've had a really, really productive week, and yeah, I'm excited on just this new foundation that we're building for new wealth.
All right, so before we bring our guest on, Mr. Rod Moore, I want to shout out these hoodies. They are coming soon, so make sure you be on the lookout. They'll be dropping on the website real soon. So we're going to go ahead and bring our guest on, Mr. Rod Moore. Man, this is my brother. We met many years ago. We grew together. The environment that we met in is not the same environment that we in now. So that's always a good thing. It's growth. Growth. So, man, he is a fitness guru expert. He's good at finances. So if you're serious about your faith, if you're serious about your fitness, if you're serious about your health and your body goals, this is the man to talk to.
I believe in God too, though.
Yeah, he does believe in God. I ain't gonna take that away from my man. He does believe in God. But if you're serious about your fitness and you're serious about your health and your health goal, body goals, and you're serious about your finances, then this is the guy that you need to talk to. So we're gonna welcome Rod on now. What's up, Rod?
I do believe in God, Jim.
First, I mean,
and I need one of those light-skinned hoodies when they come out.
Light-skinned hoodies. Hey, man. So thank you for coming on to the show, man.
Yep.
Like I said, the environment that we met in many years ago is not the same environment that we are in now, man. So let's just salute the growth on both of us. Yep. But tell the people, man, what you do, how to get in touch with you, how to follow you, and just give them a rundown about Rod Moore.
Cool. So I'm not going to be long. What I do is a couple things. I run a fitness company, and that's where I offer or provide private, semi-group, and online coaching. So if you're interested in fitness, you can just reach out to me with 20 and 12. I also run a financial services firm, and that's where we help people save money or earn additional income through insurance and investments. And we coming to talk about environment. So your environment to be successful in both of them really just comes down to some of the same things that we'll talk about today.
Cool. So first question on the table, anybody can go first. Cool. How can your environment impact your dreams?
It could be really cliche. Like we all heard about the 5 people that you hang around.
Yeah.
Right. But that's really true. So the environment that we met in, remember,
Right.
like, what did all of us do? You know what I'm saying? Every day, same thing, which is not bad, but you have to have a gut check and take an honest look at your life, where you want to be. You know, if you're looking to be a police officer, I think you probably should start hanging around a few more police officers, right? And vice versa.
Right. So I would say I really didn't start living my dreams until I got in the right environment. I was in the environment that didn't allow me to grow and didn't allow me to flourish in certain areas. So while I was being in that environment, I was stagnant, I was stuck. So the moment that I changed my environment was the moment that my life changed. So your environment has a huge impact on your dreams. So for anybody that's listening, check your environment. Like, see the people that you have around you and see, are they helping you grow? Are they keeping you stagnant? Are they keeping you stuck where you are right now? Because we want to see everybody grow and live their dreams.
Yeah.
So that's what I say.
I remember PMJ said years ago, you can only live at the level you've been exposed to.
That's good.
Sure.
So if you haven't been exposed to better, if your environment is always just, you're around people who are always talking about what they don't have instead of what, they're willing to get, or you're around people who, are always just talking about negative things instead of where you can go, how your dreams can grow. I think the moment that you start getting around people who make you uncomfortable, a lot of times we run from the people, that can help us, get to where we're going, because we're kind of, we're intimidated.
Right.
But no, we're not intimidated. It just makes us go harder. It should make you go harder. So I think when you start talking about your environment, get around people who make you uncomfortable. Get around people who, make you feel like, I ain't doing enough. Because that's what's going to push you. That's what's going to encourage you. That's the ingredient that's going to, create that dog in you that's like, oh, I got to get it. You know, so I think when it comes to environment, it's always making sure you're putting yourself or trying to put yourself in a position where you're exposed to more.
That's good.
That's right. And I got a quick example of that happened this weekend. So we all know people that won't drive 30 minutes across the city. I'm not going to talk about nobody in particular. But what I did was I took a 2-hour trip just to go sit around a couple people that were making $200 plus a year in their respective industry, just to get me uncomfortable. So I took, most people won't drive 30 minutes to go do anything. Quick turnaround trip, just go get uncomfortable. But it changed me. And the fact is, they looked at me and it's like, yo, yeah, you 27, but still no excuse.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of times we look at it as we get intimidated because we feel like we're not doing enough instead of shifting our mindset to look at it as, well, at least now I know what's out there, so now I can dream bigger. If you've never seen, if all your life you've only seen an apartment, upstairs apartment, downstairs apartment, you don't know what it feels like to even dream about being in a home. A house, owning your own home. If you've never been around or been to a house that has a pool and, 5 bedrooms, 7 bath, whatever, you don't know to dream about that stuff. But the moment that you get a little glimpse of it, the moment that you try to put yourself in a position to be, introduced to it, then now you dream bigger. Now, and that's the key that unlocks dreams. Because if your dreams if they don't scare you, they ain't big enough. And we know that the moment that we dream, the moment that we think about something, it's too small for God anyway.
Right.
So you have to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position where you're dreaming bigger, that you unlocking that next level. Like, what's the next level of dreams? Like, I'm dreaming too small. Like, I love to go look at people that's doing what I'm doing.
Right.
But I know I ain't even halfway where they at.
Right.
I don't look at it as like, man, I ain't gonna be able to do that. Like, we be having no conversations at home all the time. Like, ain't no difference. It's no difference between me and them. It's no difference between us and them. God is no respecter of person at all. Like, he don't show favoritism. In my opinion, I've said it before on a different podcast. In my opinion, if you don't have what you're dreaming for, it's one of two things. Either it's not your season, or you ain't worked hard enough for it.
Working hard enough.
That's it.
Man,
that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion.
I mean, that's good. That's really good, because when you check yourself and you check your environment, you like, I ain't working hard enough,
Yeah.
or it's just not my time. Because sometimes you can be doing everything right, and it's just not your time. It's just not your season. So, right, so you are in the fitness lane,
Right.
So, like, just with a client, or give us an example of someone that wants a healthy lifestyle, but don't want to be in the right environment, or don't want to work out. How do you switch their mindset to say this is the environment that you need to be in, so you can grow and you can reach those body goals, those fitness goals that they're looking for?
So it's always pain pleasure for
Okay.
for somebody. So, and it really comes down to, you got to really connect to what you want, and after you do that, then we can talk about environment. So I'm not one of those hard. Can I cuss? I'm not one of those crazy coaches that just go all in, right? But I will check you and hold you accountable, because that's what most people come to me for. So without saying a name, because I know it gets under this person's skin, I'll walk in the gym and say, "You sorry, like you are sorry," and when they want to say, "Hey, I don't want to do this workout," I just attach some pain to it. This particular person, it hurts for them to be overweight. So I was like, you can stay fat.
Yeah.
Or you can do this.
Right.
Your choice. I'm not forcing you to do it. And then that tells me a lot about their friends. People don't give them a lot of pushback. So the same thing, like if you're trying to lose weight and I give you, let's say, a strict diet, you might not be strong enough to say no when you're going out to places to eat. Right? So you probably don't need to go with those people no more.
Right.
Right. Or for a while until you get it under control.
Right.
Like it's really that simple.
Right.
So you just got to see, like, what's your, not, like, people that you surrounded with, can't think of the word, and lock on to people.
Circle.
Yeah, your circle. Your circle of people, make sure they're pushing you in the right direction. If they're not, then you might need to back up a little bit.
Right.
So that's an example of how environment can play a role into you being successful in your weight loss or fitness journey.
So me and Bay Court, my wife.
Right.
What can I call you on the podcast? Just Bay.
You just can't
Wifey.
call me. My name ain't Court.
It ain't Court.
No. He can't call me Court at home.
All right.
Like, who is that?
So Bay, so me and Bay, we work out together. We walk.
Okay.
She don't run.
Right.
She walk though. So I take that. I like to run. I do push-ups. I like to get in there a little bit more. But we had to set an environment for us in order to kind of like work out. You know what I mean? Because at first we were like, we really weren't working out together. Like we'll hit some days, but then all of a sudden she was just like, I really wanted to like take this more serious. Like I wanted my body goals to be better, and I was like, cool, let's go. We got mats and we got bands, waist bands, and everything. So we just trying to create that environment. So it's like, all right, we want to work out. Now we wake up like, all right, we waking up, we working out. What we doing? We walking 3 miles. I run a mile. She walked 2 miles. You know.
So let's be clear for all the listeners right now that's listening.
Okay.
Just in case y'all wondering if y'all can walk or run. Because running ain't the only cardio. First of all.
We
let's
do
be very
that
clear.
pop sugar, and she got me in pop sugar. At first, I was downplaying it.
You was definitely trying to play.
I was trying to play
But now
it,
you be over there
but
tired and
pop
woe
sugar
out.
work, and I be tired trying it.
Woe out.
You, want to? You ever did pop sugar?
No.
Man, go pull
That
up a
kickboxing ain't
45
no
minute
joke.
pop sugar, and you gonna be like,
Shoot,
all right.
you burn 500 calories in
thought I
35 minutes.
Yeah. The
Woe
women
out.
be on there be going hard. You be like, all right, this ain't about to be nothing. Man, full sweat. I was like, but
Woe
that's
out.
the environment that we're creating, because I believe, I'm pretty sure we all believe, healthy is wealth too. So if you're not healthy, you can't be wealthy.
So just to be clear, is this something that y'all trying to do together, or Courtney wanted to and you just was there to help her out?
What, working out?
Yeah.
Nah, this something that-
nuh-uh.
but we both wanted to
No,
do.
like I'm saying, as a together, this is something y'all want to do. Like have people might have date night. Okay, we gonna work out 3 times a week together. Is it like that, or
We didn't start
Right.
working out together when we first met, but as
Yeah, because
like,
I had my own trainer.
yeah,
you
she had her
were-
own trainer,
yeah.
and I just go do my own thing. But the more you spend time with somebody, it was just like, let's go work out together. Like,
Right.
let's go walk, or let's go to the gym together, whatever the case may be. And she's like, okay, even though She look better than me.
She not on your level.
Her body look better than mine, but it's okay.
He don't want to eat right.
I don't eat right, so I gotta work on that. I gotta get my environment. I'm
Yeah.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
He can work out all day.
But-
I'm
He ain't
inconsistent
right.
in my work.
But the environment is at home. Who's cooking? Who's
He
cooking?
grown.
Who's
She
cooking?
like
Okay, I'm gonna tell your business now.
She
So
cook.
the other night we had air fried chicken. We had rice. Originally, I had made like a Cajun sauce or something, and we had what's it, asparagus the first night, right?
Yeah.
So it's only two of us. So I usually just cook like half the pack of chicken, and next day I cook the other half.
Okay.
So the next day it was only like a little rice left, and then it was asparagus, and then it was his chicken. So I already know he was like, "That wasn't enough. That was just a snack." So I was like, "Okay, we can do potatoes. I got some potatoes. I can do some red potatoes, whatever. Cool."
Give me a favorite, ain't it?
I said, "Cool." I'm thinking in my head, you just gonna eat the red potatoes. You're not gonna eat the red potatoes and the rice. You want two starches. I didn't tell him before about two starches, but okay, he grown. He grown. I told him, I said, I asked, you gonna eat two starches? We put two starches on that plate.
Yep.
So he felt bad after they somebody. So you just gonna let me eat two starches?
gonna let
First of
me-
all,
Yeah.
you're grown.
You
First
gonna
off,
let me eat it.
See,
No,
you gotta
it's-
push back sometimes. Courtney.
no,
Ain't
my
you-
job is to tell you. My job is to educate it and let you know what it is. And if you still eat it on your own, that is your fault. Somebody, you got to take your own. We just talked about responsibility at church yesterday. You got to take your own responsibility and quit blaming others.
Okay.
I quit blaming others. Wasn't that the sermon yesterday?
You're right, but you gotta also know your partner, and you gotta know when to push back.
Listen.
All right. So next question. All right. So tell me about the time that your environment impacted a decision, even if it was in a good way or it was in a bad way. It impacted the decision that you had to make, like being in your environment.
So when I was, let's see if I want to tell that one.
I know.
Okay, so I give you the example of just being in a good environment. So
Cool.
last job was going on. It was about 4 years ago, and I was fired. When I was fired, I called my mentor at the time. Still, we talk today, and he told me because I actually was preparing to quit maybe 7 months later.
Okay.
So it wasn't nothing new. When I say quit, I was just gonna go full time into fitness.
Okay.
And so I asked him. I said, "No." I called him and said, "Hey, I just got fired." He said, "Sink or swim." He said, "You already been quote unquote preparing for it. See what you can do." 4 years later, we're here.
You're a full-time entrepreneur, correct?
Full-time entrepreneur.
Okay. So your environment is very important
Right.
to your success as being a full-time entrepreneur.
Right.
Okay, cool. So we're going to get back to that. So a time probably for me that my environment impacted my decision. Probably, like, I could take it back as far as high school when you skip class. You know, being in the wrong environment made me skip a class. It impacted my decision, knowing that I was supposed to go to class, get my work done.
Right.
I decided, because of my environment, to skip class and go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was... Ultimately, you have your own choice because God gave you your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
But your environment can impact and influence you to do things that are not you. And skipping class was not me, but I did that because I was hanging with some people that didn't
Skip
care
class.
or that skipped class.
Yeah.
So I was hanging with them. You know what I mean? And at the same time, something that a positive way was, oh man, I can even think about, oh man, positive way. It had to be something with like, okay, speaking. I had a fashion show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my environment created an environment where I met my wife. It's a good thing, right?
So they try to play that.
That was good. That was
But no,
good.
I
sure.
think-
My environment helped
I
me
think
meet
that's
my
good.
wife.
But you
And
right.
she saw me in a good place, in a good environment, encouraging in my gift. She saw me walking in purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, oh, I want to get with that. I want to see what that guy is about. You
'Cause on
know,
the flip
and so
side, your environment could take
This your podcast, so I'm gonna let you tip, but don't be lying to these listeners.
So he's not telling the truth.
That is the truth.
That's the truth.
My mama always said, if you tell the half truth, it's a whole lie. He just told the half truth.
What was the half truth?
But I didn't want you because I saw you in your youth. You came after me. Let's be very clear. Very.
Okay. But you
I
saw
was
me
there
in my
because you
gift.
dropped in my DMs and asked me to come to your fashion show. That was the only reason why I was there in the first place. Let's be very clear. So I was going to let you have. You should just let us go ahead and just slide on. But nevertheless, I do want the listeners just to know that it's a lot of times when we think about environment, we instantly think about our circle, and it's not always about our circle. A lot of times it's about your upbringing. Your environment is your family. You know, I can speak for myself. Like, I was never really taught about like finances and the importance of credit and the importance of keeping my credit, you know, good. Because what I saw, you know, if I would still be kind of going off of that now, we wouldn't be nowhere near, you know, kind of where we are now.
Right.
So I think a lot of times it's taking inventory of how you grew up, like what are some of the curses of your family, of what came before you, and kind of see where you are now. Because a lot of times we don't even realize that the way our moms talked, the way our dads talked, or grandma talked, like we talk like that now because that was a part of our environment that's instilled in us. But you have to be just really adamant about making sure that you're creating your new environment. That if it was negative, because a lot of times some people grew up in really, really good homes. But just make sure that you're not basing it off of just that. You're not just basing it off of how you grew up. You're not just basing it off of what your family said, because just because that's how you were raised, that doesn't mean that that's right. Because I know we went through that, you know, a lot. Because I know I always say, like, who raised you? Like, why you think like that? You know, but just because my family, you know, did things a certain way, that doesn't mean that his was wrong. It was just different. So I think that when it comes to just understanding that it's not always about your circle, like even the way that you pick your circle has something to do with the way you were raised, the way that the careers that you choose, the way you eat, like so much that we do happens because of the environment that birthed us.
Right.
First, like we skip past that, but I think that's something that helped me realize really who I was, understanding that when you go back to, like, why do you think this way? Why do you like this? Why do you not like this? Why are you the way you are? When I was able to go back and dig deep into that, I realized that my environment now has nothing to do with what I'm doing. It's what I'm trying to overcome, what I'm trying not to be like, what I want to be like. You know, I think that's a lot that has to do with your environment as well.
And that goes back to, you know, slavery. Like, a lot of things that happened in slavery is passed down to us now. Like, even 500 years ago. Like, you know, things that they did, we still do today, 500 years ago, because it's just our environments, and it's just been passed down. Like, our generational curses haven't been, like, broken enough. I guess it's still a lot of curses going down, like, still just passing through generations, and it's affecting us today. You know what I mean? So, like you said, it's definitely up to us to create our own environment. So that's why I started Low. That's why you started I Am. That's why you started Fitness, because we saw the environments that we grew up in, and we was like, we want to change our environment. We want a totally different environment for our life and for our children and for their children and their children. You know what I mean? So it's like starting a new environment is so important. If you don't like something that you're in right now, you can let it go. Like, let it go and start over, start new. Don't be afraid to start over. You know, that's better than going backwards. That's what Starlito said. That's one of my favorite. Look, he said, look, it's better to start over. That's better than going backwards. So look, just start over where you are right now. Create you a new environment. Get around some new people. Or think back to your childhood, like you said, and see the things and see how you grew up and see how you can change that, see how you can make it better, because my dad wasn't in my life, you know, so I want to make sure that I break that, so when I do have a child, I'm going to make sure I be there for them. You know, I'm gonna make sure that we put them, both me and you, we put them in a different position, that we put them in different environments, that they learn about stocks, that they learn about fitness, that they learn about real estate, they learn about businesses, and not having to go to school and work for somebody else. You can go to school or not go to school, but you can still be successful as long as you know what you want to do and what you know your gifts and your purpose are.
Yeah.
So, Rod, like, how important is it to have life insurance? I know you do have life insurance, correct? Or you sell life insurance,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So how important is it for people to have life insurance? Because me and Corey, we both have life insurance, and you know, we think that it's important just in case something happened to us, we both taken care of or whatnot, you know. So how important is it, and how many people don't have life insurance? Or do you know the percentages of people that don't have it and that have it?
Black people.
Black people, yep.
I don't want to misquote, so
Okay.
I'm not going to pull out percentages, but it's a very low percent.
Okay.
And the percentage that does usually have the wrong kind. So just to clear it up, the purpose of life insurance is for income replacement. So you guys are a married couple. All right, something was to happen to whoever is the breadwinner, or actually if somebody's just depending on your income at all, you need it. So something happened to Justin, Courtney, the lifestyle that y'all have started together, Courtney should still be able to take that out.
Right.
All right, so that's the purpose of it. And people get it misconstrued. A lot of people think it's just for burial. All right, so a picture that I like to paint is, say, you know, you have a house, you have a car, you have, you know, credit card, miscellaneous debt, you got kids, right? And they all depending on your income, right? The mortgage, the note, you paying all that. So what happens is we get that burial, and now we looking to sell stuff, or kids can't go to school because we didn't have the money to start with, because that's the reason why we had the insurance, and then two, now life is just totally different. And I know we all have seen that happen probably within our families, you know what I'm saying, or just people that's close to us.
Yep. So I don't think I knew about life insurance until I got in the right environment. I think I was in the environment, and it was like, you need to have life insurance because if something happened, you can leave money behind, and that's kind of how you start generational wealth in a sense. Tax free. So it's like, I was like, dang, I need to get some. So I had some early 20s. Like, I got some just in case something happened to me. I know people behind me, like people that's left that I leave behind, they are taken care of. Or they have more money than they ever had in their life because of me. You know what I mean? Right. So it was like, so if you don't have no life insurance, just look into getting some life insurance. You can leave, you know, to your wife, to your kids, to your family, to whoever, you know, that's valuable to you. Make sure you know, your life is just not, you know, nothing. I see a lot of people, you know, we grew up in rough areas in the hood or whatever, and they have money while they here. But when they die, they don't have the money. Like, where the money at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to be like that. I want to, you know, whoever I leave, you know, when you leave your money to or whatever, make sure they taken care of. Like, I'd rather for my life to be more important when I'm gone than when I was here. You know,
that's impacting.
That's impacting.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, even like Nip life, his name still live on. Like, he's still impacting. He's not even here no more. You know, so it's like, I'd rather for my life to be more important than while I'm here than, you know, I'd rather for my life to be more important when I'm dead than while I'm here sometimes too. You know, so if you don't have life insurance, make sure you get you some. But environment, man, I feel like environment is really a key to success, man, because like I said, I didn't start living my dreams until I got around the right people. So how can the right people change your life? Like, how can being around the right people change your whole situation? Because I'd been in some rooms, and I done got some deals, I done got some opportunities just because I was around the right person.
That's right.
And they connected me with that person, and then I built that relationship, and then I had a whole opportunity just through that environment. So how important is like being around the right people, man? Just
Man, honestly, it started before you get around the right people.
It started inside?
I know you could remember a couple of years ago, we were sitting in the house, like, who do we talk to? What do we do next? I knew I was supposed to be doing this, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But what we did do, we changed our environment before we found the people with the things that we were listening to or that was presented to us.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, what you're watching on TV, what you're listening on the radio, who you're listening to is, I would say, probably the first step, because you got to talk to yourself first, and then you got to be exposed, like Courtney was saying.
Yeah.
And then your question about being in the right environment and what?
No, just being in the right environment, how it can change, like how it can change your life.
Right.
Like being around the right people in the right environment can change your life.
Circle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the same circle. So when you was in an environment that did not support your outcome, your wanted outcomes, then it was still getting opportunities, but it was just the stuff that ain't support that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you just gotta take a step back and really start being aware. You know, this is where I am, this is where I want to be, and just take inventory. This person distract me, or do they help me?
Yeah.
You know, and you just gotta kind of be cutthroat. You gotta be real honest with yourself first, and then once we start doing that, then you start having better outcomes, because it's just a shift. So we see a lot on social media. Would you pick $50 million or have dinner with Jay-Z? Right. A lot of times people wouldn't be ready for that dinner. Right, because they didn't get themselves right.
Know the
first.
questions to ask him.
Right.
Or maybe your problem, you need to solve your current problems and go get another problem so you can ask the right question and he can actually help you.
Right.
You know, so a lot of times it's within self, and then what's around you, and then the right people. You ever heard when the student ready to teacher appear? Yeah, like that. So you just got to start doing internal work.
Yeah, I would say for sure you are what you attract. So if you're, make it, because a lot of people be like, well, how do I get around these certain people? How do I get in this circle? Or how do I reach this network? Or how do I even network? But I think a lot of times you are what you attract. So if you're making sure that you're, getting your business together, that you're buying these ebooks, that you're reaching out to people, the worst somebody can say is no.
Right.
If you're in these people DMs, or you just, your spirit is going to attract so many of the right people. Now, granted, it may not always be the right people, but but eight, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna attract the person that you are. I've had when we used to do the brunches, some of those women that were there, I never knew them, but it was because someone else told them about what we were doing, or someone else told them about my spirit, or how I treated people, or how I loved on people, and that brought people I didn't even know, and then now I'm introduced to their network, so you have to make sure that you're being who you want, who you want to see and be. Right. Like, you at least trying to get there. Like we always say, brick by brick. You lay a brick by brick, like every day, making sure that you're putting yourself in a position that when it comes, as you said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So when you make sure that you're in a position that and you may not even be completely ready, but the fact that you're putting yourself in a position to be able to even accept what's coming, to be able to accept the good things that's coming from people, because you're putting good into the world, you're going to get good back.
Right. So
just make sure that you're in a position that what you're putting out, when it's time, you're going to get that back. Because if you put out bad, you're going to get bad back. If you put out lazy, you're going to get lazy back. You're going to attract lazy people. If you're putting out, you're a hard worker, you're a dog in these streets, you're making sure, you're getting it.
Right.
Then they're gonna attract to you, because game no game, like spirit no spirit. So I know when I see somebody that's serious about it, and I got discernment too, so I already be knowing before we even, you know what I'm saying? I already be
knowing. Since I've been with my wife, she definitely didn't help me with my environment.
I be trying to
say. We just gotta learn to listen, bro.
We gotta learn to listen. She didn't help me with my environment.
Learn the hard way?
A lot. I done learned the hard way a couple times. Like, nah, they good.
Okay.
Then they do something, and she was like, She don't need to say
I
I
don't
told.
even
She
know
just
so.
look. She just like, I'm like, yep, I already know. Thank you. Like so, like just having the right people around you. Like I have my wife and Rod around me. It helps you build out a circle too. It helps you, because sometimes you be blind to stuff that other people can see, and so she can see. She got a different set of eyes. She looking at, and looking through. So I'm like, she like, ain't something right about him. Ain't something right about this situation. Ain't something right about this opportunity. So I was like, okay, let me listen. And then she be right, and I'm just like, I don't even go back and forth with her no more. If sometimes she say something off about it, and I feel the same way. I just be like, all right, cool. But but you gonna have your sometimes where you like, it's this off, babe. You like, no way, I'm just gonna ride with it. And if something happened, it just happened. That's just, being just still just operating your own self, but. Yeah, she done helped me a lot with my environment, and it was some people around she was like, yep,
no.
It ain't gonna be it. I was like, you don't want to go that way. I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna go that way, but and kind of vice versa. She had an environment, and I was just like, I don't think they really for you, babe, and she was like, okay. And then stuff happened. Stuff started to happen, and then the
I was like, yes,
changed.
they is. You tell my other business. You tell it.
So how did that actually impact your relationship though? Was it a little bit more trust after that when you start seeing that hey, I feel like now it ain't that they rejecting, they kind of got my best interest at heart.
Well, yeah, for me, I knew that she had at first I was kind of like, oh, what's she doing? She's shaking up stuff. So it's like, so she was like, so once I noticed things started to change and people started to kind of fade away, I was like, okay, she had my best interest, and I knew she had my back from there. And she been with me through the good and the bad, So it's like I know she got my best interest at the end of the day.
I think for me it was like, you just not coming around. I done been friends with them forever. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then it was just like, Courtney, you can't want him to listen, to you or.
That's right.
And then you don't. So I was like, okay, cool. And then after it happened, I was like, okay, I get it. I see. So I listen. Now I ask, what you think about this? So how you feel about this? So I think it come with time, and then just be willing to hear it. And that comes with environment. Like when you have the right people around you, you trust their word, you trust their voice,
right.
You trust their ear, especially if, whether it's relationship, friendship, whatever, hopefully both of y'all hearing, from the same God, so,
right.
You trust that they're hearing, that God is speaking to them, and you trust the God in them. Because a lot of times I tell married women all the time, it's not that I trust Jet so much. I trust the God in him, So when I married him, I stood before God. So at the end of the day, I have to trust, the God that he listens to. So I think that makes it easier as well. And we don't go that deep when it comes to even friendships. Like even friendships, I'm not being friends with nobody that don't believe in God. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like I don't need that's deadening my environment, whatever the word is. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But you need those people around you. Spirit, like the fitness, full fitness. Fitness isn't just physical. Right. It's physical, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's financially. So you make sure that you're in an environment that's making you a whole, holistic feelness is always
in
the
all
goal.
Areas. Right. Yeah. So right, kind of closing up here. So just kind of lead the people with something as far as with fitness, with life insurance and finances and environment. Just you lead them with anything.
Cool. So we got open networks and we got closed networks, and we're just gonna talk about environment. And those people that I was talking about earlier that won't drive 30 minutes, they're usually operate more so at the closed networks, the neighborhood that you grew up in, the church that you go to. If I'm black, I only hang around black people. If I'm Christian, I only hang around Christians. It's not until you start exploring and getting around different people that you start getting exposed to different things, and then that just the caliber of people like, and I'm talking about just down to the earth. You know, like they're credible. You know, integrity is there. I'm not talking just like monetary, right? But I'm saying all that to say because it's important for fitness and the financial services. And so if I get around a group of people that work out, I'm more likely going to start working out. If I get around a group of people that got their finances in order, at some point I'm going to start getting my finances in order. Right. So all that matters. So just remember that closed network, open network, and be more of an open network. Like take a quick trip. Go to a different church. Go to a different restaurant. Go hang out in a 5-star hotel. Go buy a $30 drink when you used to only buying a $5 drink. Like just do it. Go fly first class.
We stayed in the Ritz, and it was a different environment. It was like this is a different environment, and we needed that experience definitely. But you got anything for him?
I would just reiterate. You know, you can only live at the level that you've been exposed to. Like that's the only takeaway. Like if you don't remember nothing else, you know, you can only live at the level you've been exposed to, and that's with anything, whether it's fitness, whether it's, you know, with working out, whether it's with finances, whether it's with having the marriage you want to have. Like you don't know what's out there until you get until you're exposed, or until you get to experience it, or you may not even get to experience it, you know, individually, or, you know, be able to see it and hold it. But the fact that you read them more, you see other people that's doing it, you know, you know someone else that did, and you can call them and just ask them. That's still a level of exposure. Exposure isn't just I was able to fly to Dubai, you know. That's not the only. There's some good exposure now, but that ain't the only exposure. Exposure is still someone just being able to tell you how they did it. Somebody being able to tell you, you know, this is why I did it. You know, something that opens your eyes and your ears to something new is exposure. And be careful, because all exposure ain't good exposure.
Yep. But you got to learn through that.
Yeah. For sure.
And I would just say, you know, your environment, it affects your fitness, it affects your faith, it affects your finances, it affects everything and impacts everything that's around you and that in what you do. So this episode was just about environment, getting around the right people, getting around the right things, getting around the right environment, and growing and evolving and not being and staying the same. So if hopefully you took something away from this episode and you can apply it to your everyday life. We want you to live your dreams. We want you to be all that you can be. We want you to walk and live in your purpose. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this YouTube channel. It's time to load up. It's time to live your dreams. Hey, it's your boy Jet Lee. Until next time.